So if you take this a step further and you say, hey, I've got a bunch of file infrastructure, my existing ones, or even I want to set up new ones, what you can do is start sizing them for your active data set. You can now have a whole bunch of these out here. They can all be dumping into the same central repository. So now the data that was disparate on a bunch of file servers, if you want to pull it together for any kind of analysis or aggregation or legal hold or anything that might happen to you from a compliance point of view, you have one location, you have sufficient metadata to identify where they all came from, and you're going to be able to manage them as a full set of data rather than as a bunch of disparate data across a set of servers. And we had a client who was doing backup with this architecture previously, where they just had a file system and they had 28 racks of stuff, right? And then when they got done and they got rid of the filers and went straight to object, they went down to 5 racks. So the idea that you can consolidate, you don't need all this extra infrastructure, is your next step. So if you need these out there forever, that's great, but someday, once they're in here, if you want to move away and talk to them, you can just remove these file servers and you're off and running and you're just talking directly to your object store. I think there are being kind of 3 kind of customers for our products. So there's the one customer who says, I'm always going to need file and I'm never going to need object. I don't even really know what it is, but this infrastructure is too expensive and I can use it, but I'd rather not use so much of it. Now, how do I kind of create a common pool to put all this stuff into and use my file infrastructure as long as I want? That's number one customer. You give him a great place to consolidate all his relatively inactive data. You give it to him near line so he can get it back pretty much immediately. The technology in Swarm for someone like this has a darchive technology which actually spins down drives, puts things to sleep, and allows you to save a lot of money on power, which you can't do over here on these active servers. And oh, by the way, you can use less expensive drives meant for darchiving or archiving. So now you have this file environment, which is great, and you have this central area which you keep the relatively inactive stuff, but it's immediately available. Okay? And in this situation, and in any situation, we don't recommend that if you're using it for a high-performance database server, that's not the things that we handle. We're everything but databases. Okay? The second customer is the one who knows they need object storage because they need the scale, they need the flexibility, they need the power of the object storage, they need the ability to pick whatever vendor they want to grow their infrastructure however they see fit without being locked into appliances. They need it because they have applications that already talk file. But what they need is the file name to go in such a way that now I can read it through the HTTP interface. And we have a number of clients like this who know they're using object, but they can't get away from the legacy apps because of the cost of doing it. This eliminates the ability to have to port those immediately, and you can focus on the value of your new applications executing against the data set here, and as necessary you can move stuff over, but you don't have to disrupt an existing process to do so, and you can move into a whole world of Hadoop and big data and managing your storage in a centralized, cost-effective storage environment. Okay? Those are the 2 primary clients that you'll see using this infrastructure. The last client is the one that says, I got a bunch of filers, I just want to get it in here and I want to get rid of them. And that one is the one that says, I know I need object, but I'd like my data, okay? And then we can do this one-time migration off of all these filers, and now you'll be in the address space of the object storage environment. So those are the 3 types of customers I see.